All right, so I finally got my pair of these in hand. It's been a while. So ComplexCon, went to Vegas. Nike had a booth there. Air Max 1000s with Zellerfed, and this was a company that makes 3D printed sneakers, and they created this model. So you could actually win these if you hit the slot machine. You just waited in a small little queue, then you pull the little slot machine, and if you win, you actually get the shoes for free. And I was like, that's crazy. I thought I had the chance to buy them, but
They're free shoes, just one finger.
oh, I got it. Okay. We get them for free. Waited and waited and waited, and then we ended up getting the shoes. So one step in between there is you have to input your foot size on a piece of paper, and then basically scan it into their like a website, and then you can get the shoes created. So here we have them, the Air Max 1000s. Here is one, here is two, and then here is the paper. Pretty cool. The whole process looked pretty fun. All the mock-ups that they had of the Air Max 1000 and all the different trial runs that they had for this looked pretty awesome as well. There are some things I like about this, and there are some things I don't like about these as well. So I figured I'd cover them in a video for you guys. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe, follow for more content. But these, right out of the box, in hand, I mean, I held them in hand in ComplexCon, and I got kind of the same feeling. It's interesting. It's cool looking. You could see like it's using a pretty soft material for this 3D printed material. As you could see, you can like bend it and stuff and flex it, but it's very heavy. It's very like a serious like pair of sneakers. I want to weigh it and see what these are, because this feels like a pound and almost a pound. 15.2 ounces for a men's size 9. So right off the bat, like, it is heavier than like you'd expect. You do also get like air unit in here, which is interesting. Like, you can kind of see it through, and it does say Air Max 1000 on one side. It says Future Bowerman on the other side. Bowerman's like a nod to one of the founders of Nike. I think he was a founder. But it is pretty interesting though. You have an interesting little design around the laces that is kind of soft and squishy almost, where you have like 2-ply layers of material, so you can kind of feel when you squish them together. There's 2 layers here. Then you have a smoother section on the side panels of the shoe with a little inverted Nike swoosh on both sides, letting you know it is a Nike product. And then the sculpting on the mudguard is done a little bit firmer material, it feels like. And then you have like almost like a rubber outsole on the bottom. Now there's some sections where you could see they have like the extra textured material, 3 parts of the bottom. That kind of comes from the sidewalls down. And then you also do have the Nike swoosh printed on the bottom. But overall, it's like a very interesting thing. Now, I don't have a ton of like knowledge in 3D printed sneakers. The only ones I've tried, a handful of them from different brands. Adidas 40 Forward is primarily the main one that I've tried, which they do a 3D printed midsole only, not the entire shoe 3D printed. And Adidas does have the 3D printed Climacool now, but I haven't actually got my hands on a pair of them yet. I've been trying, and hopefully I'll get a pair of them next time they restock coming up here. Then I can maybe compare them side by side. There's not really a lot to compare though. This is like a completely different build. The way that they build this, it is like a serious piece of footwear, and it's functional. Like, you can wear it and stuff. It is difficult to get on though. I'll tell you that. Because of the opening right here. It's almost like the React X Rejuvenates in a sense, where you can put them on, but the sizing is very snug. So I did the paper cutout thing to hopefully get us the right size, but unfortunately I get them and they're just way too snug for, I mean, they fit. They're very snug when they fit, but they're just too snug for me to want to be able to wear. I would definitely want a size 10 instead. So unfortunately, that's the way it goes. I don't think it was like accounting for like wearing socks and stuff and having it just fit a little bit more comfortable. So following up my comments on this in post, basically I wore these a little bit more and just wanted to see how they were. And I will say that they do fit pretty good lengthwise. However, they're kind of narrow, like left to right, if you will. So that's why I felt like they were a little bit snug overall from the fit. And as you could see in the video, it was difficult to get on, just the initial opening. But once you get them on, they are actually really comfortable. The squish in the forefoot is really quite nice. And overall, like, they're a little bit heavier. It definitely is an interesting vibe here, but very comfortable overall, and definitely a functional pair, just a little bit heavy. Where does this like land in the footwear space though? Because it's almost like anybody can make a 3D printed shoe nowadays. Whether or not they do a good job of it is another question. And I like the fact that they're partnering with an established company like Zellerfed, who does make their own footwear and collaborations with other people. I think the Zellerfed place is in a really smart place with being able to collaborate with like brands like Nike. I don't think it's like something that's going to replace the traditional footwear brand by any means, because it's fun, it's new, it's different, and it is even functional, I would say, after wearing these a little bit. But the sheer volume of these things being so heavy is kind of crazy. And I do feel like this is kind of like late to the game. So the reason why I say that is because this like was announced like last year, and then we've waited for forever, and then now there's some teases of a new colorway coming, like a cream colorway. And I think that when I got these from Customs, because these were made in Germany, it said that these were like 280 or something like that, like unit price basically for the item. I'm wondering though, like what the retail is going to be, if it's going to be like 270s or 280s or whatever, because it's a lot for what you're getting. And to be 100% honest, Nike has a ReactX Rejuvenates now, which is like an all foam sneaker, like similar to like Crocs. And you know, Crocs is really like the originator of all foam sneakers. So it's like, where does a 3D printed sneaker come into play when these are so incredibly expensive to make? They're very, very heavy. It's cool. It's different. Or you could do the mold of a shoe like the ReactX Rejuvenates and just use that. It's probably much, much faster to make. They're very affordable comparison to something like this. I mean, the ReactX Rejuvenates are 60 bucks. So functionally, I just don't think we're there yet where we're going to find it valuable to 3D print the entire shoe over using like a foam pair. With all the nitrogen injected foams nowadays and all these foams that basically are little pucks and then they blow up really big and are very soft and squishy and durable. It's hard to compete with that super foam market nowadays. And to be frank, I feel like the super foam market is the market. That's the one that all the brands are trying to keep up with, not these 3D, 4D printed sneakers, just because, again, just the cost savings of them are just crazy. I still think it's a really cool concept, though. It almost is counterproductive in this one to be able to put an air unit in the middle of it, though, because it's like an old technology, you know, embedded in this like new wave technology, which is kind of like fun in a sense, where it's like, look, we're you know, we're blending the old and the new together. It's cool. I don't think it's necessary. Am I glad I got one? Absolutely. Like, it's fun to be able to get them in hand. If they were selling them for $250 to $300, would I be happy that I paid that much for them after getting them and wearing them and seeing how snug they are? And I don't think so. Like, overall, like, it's just too much money considering, like, again, the ReactX Rejuvenates. Those are amazing for 60, 70 bucks or whatever. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I mean, like, for almost a pound each, these things are pretty heavy, but I do like that they are functional. It's like actually something you can wear. That was the thing I think some people were wondering about. The durability of the shoe is actually quite nice. Something that is definitely more durable than the ReactX Rejuvenates, which if you didn't see, I posted on Instagram and stuff. My kid busted it out. He was playing hoops in the ReactX Rejuvenates, just casual games, but he busted out his ReactX through his toes where the little holes are. So I don't think you're gonna have that problem in these, just because they're more durable and they're definitely like beefier than the ReactX Rejuvenates. But I just don't know where these fit in the footwear space. I feel like they could use some components of 3D printed materials on sneakers like Adidas did just the midsole. I think that was kind of a smart idea, but I don't think it was delivered perfectly because the materials were just too firm. Again, comparison to the super foam stuff, you just rather have a super foam pair. It's just softer and squishier and overall just better feeling on feet than something that is 43 printed or whatever. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. Air Max 1000. What do you guys think? Is it something you guys are feeling or not? Is it something that you think that we'll see more of in the future, or do you think this is just a flash in the pan, something like the NFT market where it's just like, cool, yeah, I'm on that. I want to be a part of that, and then like they kind of just go away. I'm glad that they're dabbling with other things. It's good to be somewhat innovative. Again, I think they were a little bit late to the party, but happy again that I was able to get a pair of them. And it'll be interesting to see some of the future versions. I'll tell you, some of the sample versions I saw at ComplexCon looked way cooler than the final product. It looked a lot sleeker. It looked a lot lighter. But it is what it is. I mean, I think that again, I think it's a cool concept. It's not going to be something for everybody, but there's going to be a select market that's going to really, really vibe with it. And I'm not 100% there just because, again, of the reasons why I mentioned this video. But I did not wear them a ton. I just tried them on. If you've worn your pair a lot, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think the overall results are. But appreciate y'all for stopping in and watching. We'll leave it at that. Have a good rest of the day. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, and hopefully see you back for some more content. All right, peace, guys.